What's up, YouTube, and what's up to all my followers? This video is basically to stick with it. He said, "Why don't you do a video about fantasy?" I play a lot of FanDuel, and I said, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll do one for other people who play FanDuel, and I'll do one for the people who play DraftKings. And if you want, here's my lineup. I'm not saying that I'm a connoisseur. I'm just saying here's what I would go with based on what I've seen. So, first off, you want to go with Ben Roethlisberger, my cheat sheet, by the way, cheat sheet. Ben Roethlisberger because he's going against the Ravens. Their defense sucks. You want to go with Blake Bortles because he's going against the Saints defense, and the Saints defense, everybody knows, has been terrible. Carson Palmer, he's going against Green Bay. The Green Bay defense was good for the first 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden they fell apart, and Carson Palmer's playing at an MVP level. Cam Newton, MVP, who I think he should win the MVP. He's playing at a high level. He's going against the Atlanta Falcons, and that team has basically been blown up. That team has not been blown up, but that team has basically been mediocre after week 6. So those are the quarterbacks you want to start. Now my wild cards, Alex Smith. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Alex Smith, he's Mr. Checkdown, but he's been putting up huge numbers, especially since after their week 3 loss. So you want to put him in because he's finally found his wide receivers, namely Macklin. So you want to put him in there. You want to put in Stafford. Stafford's up and down, so he's kind of a wild card in that sense because either he can be hot or he can be cold. And last game he was kind of hot, but I feel that he's due. Derek Carr, I'm a Raider fan, so obviously you can see that you can see that right there. Derek Carr, I feel like he's up and coming, and he will have a good game against a porous Chargers defense. Ben Roethlisberger, he has Antonio Bryant, so why would you not put him in your starting lineup if you have him on your team? Enough said. There's no reason to even talk about why you put him on your starting lineup. Now, running back, Latavius Murray is going to the Chargers. The Chargers defense, like I said, is mediocre at best. So you want to start Latavius Murray. James Stewart, he's going against the Atlanta team who was actually under the table. They haven't been consistent since week 5. So you want to start James Stewart. Lamar Miller, he's proven that every time he has gotten the ball over 15 carries, he has put over 100 yards. So you want to put Lamar Miller on your team, especially when they're going against the Colts. So the Colts, their defense isn't anything special. Adrian Peterson, he's going against the New York Giants, and I never, ever bet against Adrian Peterson all day because guess what he is? He's all day. Now, my one true X factor is Danny Woodhead. Danny Woodhead has the most catches for any running back in the entire league, and when he went against the Raiders last time, he had a great game, and that's because he receives the ball. And I think that's what he's going to do this year. Not this year, but this game. He's going to actually kill us in space. And the Raiders have trouble with coverage in terms of the linebackers. So if you have Danny Woodhead, put him on your team. If you can afford Danny Woodhead, put him on your team. Now, wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson. I say him first off because he's motivated to go against his previous team, and I never go against a guy who is motivated. And Deshaun Jackson has motivation, and he has supreme speed, and I never go against those two elements. So Deshaun Jackson, if you have him, put him on your fantasy team. Antonio Brown, I said that early in the show. He's been basically uncoverable this entire year. Sammy Watkins, he's come on late ever since he went on that rant and said, "Hey, you need to give me the ball." And guess what? They give him the ball, and guess what? He puts on a show. So put Sammy Watkins, Brandon Marshall. He's a beast. He is a receiving machine. So you want to put Brandon Marshall on your team. My two wild cards, Allen Robinson. Now I say Allen Robinson's a wild card because he can be a boomer bust guy because it's been flipping back and forth between Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson. Now Allen Robinson had a good game last week, so I'm assuming that Allen Robinson will have a good game this week. So go with Allen Robinson, and Allen Robinson catches a lot of touchdowns. So go with him. I think Allen Hurns will have kind of a possession type game this week. Another guy who I think who you should start is Brandon Cooks. And I know Drew Brees is hurt, but Brandon Cooks he is a very special player, and you want to put him on your team because he is a guy who you rely on, especially if you're a backup. So put in Brandon Cooks on your team. Now, one last guy I would say is DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, he's kind of been kind of on a downslope the last 2 weeks, but I feel like he's due. And DeAndre Hopkins is a phenomenal talent. And like I said with Brandon Cooks, you never go against phenomenal talent. Phenomenal talent. So put in DeAndre Hopkins if you have him on your team or if you can afford him. Now, let's go to your tight ends. Antonio Gates. It's no secret the Raiders can't guard tight ends. So you want to put Antonio Gates, and he's a Hall of Famer. Most people can't guard him, just like most great tight ends. Now, Jordan Reed, he's coming on slowly but surely. He's finally healthy, and I feel that Kirk Cousins actually has a rapport with him. So you want to put him on your lineup if you can afford him, or if you have him on your fantasy team. Greg Olsen, obviously, he's the obvious choice. He's a beast. Cam Newton relies on him a lot. You want to put him on your team if you can afford him, and I think he'll have a good game, a great game, if you will. Barnidge. Well, I remember saying to myself that Barnidge won't kill the Raiders, but guess what? He killed the Raiders, and he's been on a tear the entire season. So, if you can afford Barnidge, put him on your team, or if you have him on your fantasy team for Yahoo or CBS, put him on your team, pick him up, whatever, waiver wire, anything. Pick him up. Barnidge is a huge, huge pickup. Vance McDonald, he's been flying under the radar because guess what? Ever since Colin Kaepernick stepped down and the new quarterback Blaine Gabbert stepped in, guess who benefited from that? That would be Vance McDonald, and he has a rapport with Vance McDonald, so I would pick him up. Martellus Bennett, you know what? Jay Cutler always relies on Martellus Bennett when he has a chance. So he's kind of a guy who I would say, if you can afford him, if he's cheap, pick him up because I feel that Martellus Bennett will actually help you because Jay Cutler, he will rely on his tight ends, and I have a feeling about this week against the Bears. So pick up Martellus Bennett. And one last guy for tight ends, I would say Julius Thomas. He's been coming on late. Blake Bortles has actually been looking for him in the end zone, in the red zone, and he's finally becoming the beneficiary of touchdown passes. So you want to pick up Julius Thomas. I think Julius Thomas will have a good game alongside with Allen Robinson. Now, for your flex position, Delanie Walker. Delanie Walker is he is under the radar in terms of putting a tight end position on his back because he has been putting up numbers, and I know that their quarterback is done. He should be done for the year, but he's done for this week. Uh, Mariota is done for this week, and it's going to be their backup. But I feel that Delaney Walker will still have a good game. Next up, for defense, defense. I only put up two guys. Not two guys, but I only put up two people for defense. Carolina against Atlanta because I feel that Matt Ryan is prone to turnovers, and I feel like if you pressure Matt Ryan, he will give you a whole bunch of gifts. And it is the season for gifts. 'Tis the season. And my other defense would be Arizona because I know they lost Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, but the Packers, their offense is susceptible to mistakes. And I feel that Arizona is humming right now, and I feel that they can be a good backup. So, with that said, Carolina against Atlanta, your backup should be Arizona versus Green Bay. So this is my very first fantasy preview. Tell me what you think. If I'm out of my mind, let me know. I will not have any inhibitions of talking to you. Let me know what you think, and please don't forget to please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Literate Sports Show.